Hi, I'm Anna Loza. I'm here with Kelly Ockeloen. I'm just so excited for this conversation. Thank you, Kelly, for being here.
Hi, no problem. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So, can you tell us a little bit about where you're at, what you're up to, what's going on in your world?
Well, I'm trying to revamp my business a little bit. I own Everybody Fit, and my goal is to get people moving. Too many people I see, like I live in Vancouver, which is the people are super active here, but there's still a lot of people that aren't. And, I'll go out for a run or a walk, or I'll try and get my kids out. And that's a whole other story, the kid thing. Um, but I'll see, there's nobody else outside. And as soon as the sun comes out, everybody gets outside. But on the dreary days when you can still get outside, like I love getting out on a day like that. But too many people just sit at home and they forget what it's like once they get outside, they get some fresh air. Um, they just get stuck at home. And it's the same thing like with my kids. I'll say, come on, let's go outside. Let's just go for a walk. The beach is right here. Let's just walk down to the beach. We'll throw some stones in the water, whatever, right? Throw frisbee around. And they don't want to go. And it's like pulling teeth. And as soon as I get them out there, you can just see the fog starts to clear and they relax and they're like, whoa, that's actually kind of fun. And so it's like that for everybody else too. And so like I'm working with two groups of people. One group are people who work from home. And, I'm in that category. And so I know what it's like. I've always been an active person, but I know when I'm sitting at my desk all day, I can lose track of time, depending on what I'm working on. I can totally lose track of time. And all of a sudden it's supper time. And I have not gotten up. I have not moved my body. And I feel like crap. And, but the other extreme can happen as well, where I cannot sit still. I get my house super, super clean. All the laundry's done. I've had like 10 meals, 50 snacks, anything to do, anything other than my work. And so, if I took a break in the afternoon and went for a run, I'm way better off in the afternoon. So that's what I want. I want that for other people as well. And I started doing that because a life coach friend of mine, we trade services. She coaches me and I train her. And she said, hey, you're onto something here. This is brilliant. You've got to work with these people. So that's one group. And the other group are people who they take care of everybody else other than themselves. And, they're now at a point where they've got very little self-confidence and they know that they need to make a change. And whether they've put some weight on or, they're going through divorce or they've got challenging kids, whatever it is, something needs to change. So it's a little bit of a buddy system and lots of accountability and lots of pushing and encouragement and all that kind of thing. So I'm just working on that, updating my website and trying to get people moving. I just want people to be happier. Yeah, go ahead.
What's your protocol with that? Is that something that someone needs to be in person with you and you take them around like Vancouver? Or is this an online thing? What are you up to?
No, I think mostly online. Well, I shouldn't say mostly, but yeah, I want to be able to impact people and reach people anywhere because, we all come in different shapes and sizes, right? There's no one size fits everybody. It's very different. It's very, I want to personalize everything for people because I've realized through watching my kids grow and learn and develop and all that and myself, like, wow, okay, I can't talk to my kids. Like, I'll keep coming back to my kids just because I learn so much from them every day. I have 3 kids. They are so different. And I used to talk to them each the same way. And I realized that doesn't work. Like, that does not work. They are so different. And so I used to own a women's kickboxing gym. And, the same thing. Like, I'd be trying to teach one person one way. I'd do the same thing for the next person. And she just wasn't getting it. And so I'm like, okay, all right, maybe I've got to just try this a different way, right? So I try a different way and boom, she gets it. And so it's like that for everybody, right? So I may talk to, I may talk to you and maybe you're a new client and you're in the Dominican or wherever you may be. And I can give you some workouts online. I can show you a video. I can actually, go on a Zoom call and work out with you. It just depends, you may be somebody who I could just send an email to and go, okay, here's your workout. Here's the instructions. Here's some tips, and you'll go off and do it. But you may prefer to have somebody on the screen with you actually doing the exercises with you, so that it's not, or you may prefer that I'm just cheering you on and telling you what to do and then you do it. It's different for everybody, right? So I try and figure out through questionnaires and talking to the people, okay, what's going to work the best for you? What's going to make you the most comfortable and feel the most confident? Because I've got, some people that feel they can't work out with me. They don't want to work out in front of me. And this is actually a friend of mine, and she's just not comfortable, and that's fine. She will get there. Like she's now at the point where she's like, hey, I rode the bike yesterday. I'm like, awesome. That's great. Right. It starts like here and then just slowly builds, and everybody's journey is different. Right. And, some people, it'll happen, over a period of a week, and some it might be 10 years. It doesn't matter as long as you're on that path. Right. So
what do you see so you were saying how, people are indoors and there's kind of this laziness or whatever it is to go out. What do you think is that factor that's kind of keeping people in?
They're just little blocks, right? It's like anything in life. You're trying to take a step towards something, but then you take a couple back and you just can't seem to get over that little hurdle. It's the same thing. You just get stuck in your habits, right? If you've got a nice cozy couch and you're going to lie on your couch and watch Netflix all day, you're going to have a hard time getting up and getting outside, right? So there's different things you can put in place, like have a buddy system. I've got a group of girls. There's 4 or 5 of us that run together every week. And we all know that, if one of us is having a hard time with something or whatever, we know we need to get out, or somebody texts, we'll send a text and say, oh, I've eaten like shit today. I've not eaten well all week. Like, I've got to do something, right? So then we all rally. We're like, okay, we're going for a run tomorrow, or we're going to do this, we're going to work out. And there's just, you put things in place for yourself. And not only for yourself, you can do that for other people as well. And that's what my business is about, is helping people be successful. So it's just, I think we just get stuck. You just get stuck and you forget. And it's like easier to just lie there and go, yeah, no, later. I'll go later. But then later becomes tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes next week, and then next week becomes never.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've all been there.
What about, like, throughout your life, have you always been consistently active? You said you owned the women's kickboxing gym. Is this something that's always been a passion for you?
Yes. Yeah, very much so. My dad, actually, I grew up in a really active family, and my dad, he was a doctor, and he always said, look after yourself, always stay in shape. And it just totally stuck. And now, like, it used to drive me crazy. And I actually put that in my about page on my website because it really stuck with me. Right. And it used to drive me crazy because he would say it all the time. And now I'm so grateful for that because it has stuck. And you say, have I been consistent? Well, pretty much, but I'm human, right? And there's been many, many times where, a week or two will go by and I'm like, oh, I feel like a slug, right? Everything just starts falling apart. Like, I don't sleep well. I start eating poorly. I get grumpy. I get irritable, all those things because I'm not moving my body. And I know that now, like I'm pretty good now. It's rare if 2 or 3 days goes by where I've done nothing. But having said that, you do need to take breaks. Your body does need a break sometimes. It's important to have rest days, but yeah, I know how I feel. I know the signs to look for if I am not moving. And my friends know it too. They like, oh, you're really grumpy right now. Maybe you should go for a run. So yeah, no, it was, yeah, I had a pretty active childhood for sure.
So what's your personal routine right now? Like, what do you do for yourself?
I try and meditate in the morning, and I usually will have a plan to go for a run. I'll run 3 to 5 times a week, and they're not big runs. I might do one longer run in a week, but my average run will probably be 6 to 8K. If I'm not running, then I've got a seawall. I have access to a seawall right out here.
What's that?
It just, there's a beautiful beach and 2 or 3 parks kind of along the way, and I can walk to it. It's super close. So I'll just go down there, and it's like a happy place for me. Or we've got like tons of trails. There's so many trails on the North Shore, and I'll get out one of the trails. It's awesome. And especially if I'm trying to be creative and come up with some new ideas for my business, then I'll get in the trails for sure. So yeah, that's in my work day. Obviously I've got to deal with the kids, but yeah, meditation, and movement for sure. Yeah.
That's so amazing to have access to the trails and nature. So I guess you would go outside rather than working out from home.
No, I work out at my house too, all the time. Like I might do, like, most of my workouts are short. Like, you're not going to catch me doing more than a 30-minute workout for sure, unless I'm doing a spin class or something. But my workouts will, on a day where I'm pressed for time and I just don't feel like working out, I'll do a 4-minute Tabata. And then what that does for my, psychologically is, okay, I didn't do nothing. I did something and I got my heart rate up. But most of the workouts will probably be about 15 minutes. And yeah, I've got some space in my living room. I don't need any equipment. I've got a medicine ball and I've got some weights, but I don't really need anything. I have a skipping rope. I'll take my skipping rope outside and then skip. Love the home workouts. No excuses, right? It's all about eliminating the excuses.
Totally. I feel like you have like a really good attitude to motivate people to, like, no excuses. This can be fun. This can be good. It's healthy. There's so many reasons to do it. And like you were saying with your kids and people just getting outside, like as soon as we just make that motion and get ourselves out there, we sense in our body how good it is.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, it's the toughest part is getting out the door. That's the toughest part. And when I owned the gym, it wasn't far away. It was like a, 5-10 minute drive, but I've heard every excuse in the book. I have heard every excuse as to why somebody's not coming in, because people would sign up for a membership. They would come in, they'd be diligent probably for a month, and then I wouldn't see them for a couple of months. And I have no problem harassing people. I'll send texts, I'll send Facebook messages. I don't care. I'm just like, hey, where are you? I really look forward to seeing you. When are you coming in? And a lot of people appreciate that because it's just that little nudge, right? They just needed something. But some of them wouldn't come in for months, and then they'd come in and I go, oh, hi, nice to have you back. Like, where have you been? And they're like, I just couldn't get in here. And so it's just about eliminating the excuses, right? Because then they'd have a flurry of other excuses as well as to, well, I don't really have time. Well, that's BS. Everybody has time. You can take 4 minutes. You can get up 4 minutes earlier and do something, because if you start with that tiny step, right, like a 4-minute workout, people sometimes laugh when I say, no, do 4 minutes. You can do 4 minutes, or grab a skipping rope and skip for 2 minutes. It's something. That something will escalate eventually, right? Because your body will start responding, your body will start craving. And if you miss those 2 minutes, the next day and the next day, you'll be like, hey, wait a sec, you got to move me. Because I like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just always had this really interesting concept of, we're like living inside our bodies. We're not our bodies. And it's like we that don't want to get up and move our bodies, but our bodies feel really good when we do that. And we're at this point in civilization where we don't really need to in order to survive. Like, we can survive even though our body won't necessarily thrive. So it's this really interesting thing of like having that person that's making the decisions in our minds to like get up and like use this body.
Yes. Because, okay, you say like, we're not going to thrive. No, our bodies are going to rebel, right? And if you lie around, and yes, like the way the world is, it's crazy. I mean, you could probably just, I could sit right here all day and I could probably have my meals brought to me. I could have somebody come do my nails if I really wanted. I could have someone come do my hair. Like, everything could get done for me right here. I would never have to go anywhere. But what's my body going to do? It's going to start shutting down. What's my brain going to do? It's going to start shutting down too, because the brain doesn't like it if the body's not moving. It's all connected, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think I went through a divorce, and so I had a couple of years that were pretty stressful because I had some stuff going on with my previous business, and I ended up selling that. And looking back, like, 1,000%, it was exercise that got me through all that, because that's what I do when I'm stressed out is, within reason. Like there are some days where you just need to just chill out and do nothing. But, if I'm feeling any sort of elevated mood in any direction, doesn't matter, good, bad, whatever, you've got energy, and that energy needs to come out somehow, right? So that's when I know I need to just go outside and move, like running, biking, whatever. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, exactly. It can be something that really transforms our emotions to move and to get out there. Do you find that you have more creativity for your business and like more energy for your business?
Yes, totally. I'll get stuck, and I've been stuck so much lately trying to change things and writing new copy and doing all these things, and I'll hit a wall. And like I said earlier, I'm trying to work on my website, and I want to do it myself. I hate not knowing stuff, and I love learning stuff, but I can't even figure out my learning curve on this, figuring out the website stuff, right? So I'll get stuck. I'll hit a wall because I'm like, I just can't figure that out. And I think it's because I've been sitting too long, and I'm hyper focusing on, okay, I've got to figure this out. I got to figure this out. And then I'll just go, okay, I got to get out of here. And yeah, I'll go outside, clear my head, and I'll take as long as I need to. And then there's something magical about getting out in the forest. I've read this everywhere, and it's great, right? If you just kind of try and open up your headspace a little bit and be open to getting some new ideas in there, you almost always come home with something.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, our body has so much wisdom in just the movement and the blood flow and the oxygen. It's undeniable. And so do you have clients that think that they'll be more tired if they exercise to a certain extent? And like
Yes.
maybe that's why they don't want to?
Totally. Yes. Yeah. And I have to laugh. I'm like, well, kind of, okay, that's the point. You want to tire your body out. You want to work your body, right? It's like you want to work your brain too. We should be working our brains every day too. Like, if I could tell somebody, go do some math. What? Okay, I don't like math either, right? Do a crossword puzzle, whatever, something that's just challenging. So we know that because we've all gone to school and we've been there. We've had to study for exams and all these things that we don't necessarily like, but we know they're good for us. So why don't you do the same thing for your body, right? Your body's going to respond. It's only good things that will happen when you move your body and you push your body a little bit, right? So it's all good stuff.
It sounds like you have a lot of different tools to give to someone. So like an individual response to like, okay, we'll try this kind of exercise rather than having something that's just like only this, only running or whatever.
I am relentless for being positive when it comes to getting somebody to exercise. Like I have a lot of friends who they might see me and try and hide. Because I'm like, come on, we got to go do this. Let's sign up for this race. Let's go for a run. Let's go play up the river, whatever, like something, right? My brother's got this great deck in his backyard, and I will go over and work out with him and his wife and a neighbor up the street who's a good friend of mine. I love doing that, right? And I'll just send out a text, come on, we're meeting here at 11 o'clock. We're going to do a little deck workout. And they're like, oh, great. Okay. But they love it once they're there, right? It's just getting there. And yeah, and I have another client who he doesn't love working out. He's like, I know I need to work out. He loves sports, and we're in our 40s, so it's not like we're 20 anymore, and we have to be a little bit more careful. You still need to push yourself. In fact, you probably need to push yourself a little harder, but you got to be smarter about it. And anyway, so I was trying to come up with a plan for him. And so asking him a bunch of questions and everything, he's like, yeah, no, I love sports. So, okay. So if I put him through a regular, maybe a stacked Tabata workout that I might do for somebody else that they might love, because I love those, that's not going to work for him, and he won't stick with it. He loves sports. So we're doing boxing. I've taught him how to do a little boxing, jab cross, and he loves it. So there's something for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. You can think of it like shopping for clothes, right? Or going to a restaurant, looking at the menu. there's a million different options, right? And what this person likes, this person might hate, right? And so on. It's the same thing. So I will just keep going. I had a friend who, she's got sore feet, but she really wanted to work out. And she's like, can we do a workout sitting down? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we can. So, I look some stuff up, and I find some exercises, put them together, and we do that. And it was great. Like there's something out there for everybody. Right. So it's just, you got to be open to it, and I'll just keep going. Like, I don't like taking no for an answer. If somebody's like, no, I can't, I'll be too tired. No, that's not going to work for me. My body's not going to like that. Yeah. I don't buy it. Sorry.
So here's a question for you. So I just had an interview that I will post with Kate Schaefer, and she's talking about how she was at a point in her life when she's exercising quite a bit, and it was bringing on tiredness because there were other imbalances in the body. So what's your response to that? Like a legitimate kind of like a health concern with, okay, I'm exercising a lot, but I'm really tired and it's affecting my day and my life. And even if I cut back, like, have you worked with that in kind of like a health perspective?
I've been there myself. And sometimes it takes somebody else noticing that too, because that's my brother he would get on my case about, no, you're running way too much. I'm like, well, I'm not running that much. But then I would look at it and go, oh, I'm running too much, and I'm not doing my other workouts to support the running. Right. So it just depends. Like I said before, it's different for everybody. But if you're exercising a lot and your body's tired, that's usually a sign that you need a rest day or a few rest days. Maybe you need to take a week off. Maybe you need 3 weeks off. But it's something, if there's other health issues, then it's definitely, time for a checkup with the doctor, just to, maybe get some blood tests or something, and just figure out, okay, where is my body at right now? Like, what, you really got to be in tune with what's going on in your body and your mind, right? Everything's connected. And so I think, it's really super important to know if you're exercising a lot, but your body's really feeling tired, then there's something that's not quite right. And maybe it's that you have just overworked it, because that definitely is something, right? If it's stress, like exercise, you're stressing your body. It's a good stress, right? As long as you have that recovery time. But if you're working out every day and you're really pushing yourself super hard, if I was running, and I was running 4 times a week, which is pretty normal for me, I would never go out and run. Like, my longest run right now might be about 16K that I could comfortably run. I'm not doing that 4 times a week. Like, that would be crazy. My body would be like, whoa, hey, like you need some rest days. You need more recovery time when you do a bigger run like that. Then, I could go out and run 5K right now and not be breathing super hard. Like, if I did a nice easy run, I could do that 4 times a week, no problem, but you don't want to do the big long runs, right? So, it just depends. You just have to really listen to your body. And
So
we're not good at that sometimes.
Pardon?
We're not very good at that sometimes. I think you just get wrapped up in everything else and you forget. And then one day you just kind of go, you don't have a choice, right? You're flat out, and it's like, whoa, maybe I should have paid some attention. Yeah.
Do you talk to people about that? Like, encouraging, do you teach them to listen to their body during the workout and kind of?
Yes, because I need to know exactly what's going on for them in order to put a program together that's going to work for them. Because if they're in their heads or in their hearts going through the motions of doing a workout and they really don't like it, or something's not feeling quite right, like, my lower back's kind of hurting when I'm doing this, or I'm really feeling kind of sluggish and I'm not feeling my happiness level shifting up at all, I need to know that, because this workout is not working for this person, right? So I try and get people outside as much as possible. That's my first choice. I don't care if it's raining. Like, we live in Vancouver, it rains here. So if you're not going outside because it's raining, then you're never going outside. So I've got to figure out, okay, what's going to keep them motivated? What's going to keep them totally dialed into doing these workouts, like moving their body every day. And, maybe that's twice a week. They're inside doing a 10-minute workout. And then maybe 3 times a week, they're going outside for a walk or a hike or a jog, whatever it is. So yeah, the more information they can give me and tell me exactly what's going on, like I will check with them. I've got a little form that I've just created that has at the top of it, it's like for accountability and everything too. They fill out, they let me know what they're going to be doing for the week based on options that I've given them. And there's a little spot, how I'm feeling pre-workout. And then just, I've got a few words and they can just circle something or put in if other. And then after the workout, so that they can go back and look, these people will work with me for 3 months. They can go back and see. And what I want is to see that with their happiness level, because it's all about happiness, right? You want to be happy. You want to have a good time. You have one life. You may as well enjoy it, right? And so by exercising, you know, especially for these people that I'm working with for 3 months that are starting down here, they have no confidence or low confidence. As soon as they start moving their body, right? So much great stuff happens, and it should go like that. So I need to know that as we're working out where they're at. It's like little check-ins.
I love that. Yeah. That you want the consistent progress and in terms of happiness level, like that is the progress indicator.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is, right?
Cool.
Like, yeah.
So what about your kids? Like, how are they exercising with you? Do they love it? What's their journey with it?
Yes, it's a journey. It's definitely a journey. So I've got my daughter's 16 and my boys are 14 and 10, and they're all pretty active, all in different sports. So yes, my daughter, she plays a ton of volleyball and competitive volleyball. And, I would say about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit more, she really got on the workout bandwagon. Like, she gets it, and I don't have to tell her to do anything. She knows. Like, she's in a volleyball academy, so they do training and they're in a gym and all that stuff. But she's at the point now where she will call a friend, and they will go out for a little run on the seawall, or I'll hear her up in her room or see her in the living room or whatever. And she's pulled up a workout on her phone and she's doing something. And so it's great. My 14-year-old, he's a 14-year-old, and that is like alien phase. I've got some weights over here and he wants to be the Hulk, right? So he plays basketball. So I'll see him sometimes doing stuff. I can't tell him anything. He'll just be like, yeah, whatever, mom. And my 10-year-old, he's pretty good. If his friends are doing something, he wants to do it, but he's definitely aware. He's aware of his body, and he's aware of things that he needs to be doing if he wants to be in shape, right? And they can make that connection. To, like, I don't push stuff on them. I might suggest once in a while, but I don't push, because I know what I was like as a kid. If somebody told me to do something, like namely my parents, I'd be like, yeah, no, not doing it. And so I'm very aware of that with my kids, but I do try and demonstrate, right? I mean, you got to lead by example, and they see me out doing stuff all the time, and occasionally they'll ask if they can join me. But as long as they're making that connection that, okay, you know, what I'm putting in my body, because I will say to them, okay, 15 minutes later, yeah, how are you feeling? That wasn't really the greatest food choice, was it? And the same thing with exercising too. Okay, if you do this, you're going to be that much better out on the soccer field. And so I think they get it. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lifelong journey, but that's okay.
Well, it is a lifelong journey. That's it.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you like hosting like group classes in your community as well?
Not really, not yet. I've tested a little bit, like on Zoom, having, 4 people that I'm training and I'm working out with them. So that feels like we're all in the room together. So we've done a little bit of that. And I've done some boot camps. Like, I'll do some boot camps now that the weather's improving. I'll do some boot camps outside at the park.
Mm-hmm. That's so great, that you're getting people outside and you're speaking about the weather dynamic and how it's going to be overcast or more chilly than you wish. Like, you were asking me about Montreal before we started. And what I really love to see there is that, yeah, I mean, the sunny days don't really come back until summer, but people will be out in the winter in a park downtown just cross country skiing in the park or doing
Yeah.
something in the summer, and people are always out, and that really surprised me and amazed me that yeah, it's just that creativity. Like if we have that creativity to look at something or transform a season that we don't really enjoy by doing something active and fun, that can totally shift that entire season instead of like letting like a depression through because like, oh, there's no sun. So
yeah.
yeah.
And that's why it's extra important that you've got like a tribe or a community, right? Or a couple friends. Like it doesn't matter if you've got other people that you can look out for. And like I believe what comes around goes around, and you know, I will look out for my friends, and I've got an awesome group of friends, and I know they look out for me too. And so if you've got somebody who their mood and their energy levels do drop when it's not nice out, then you make the effort and you go pick them up if you need to, or you send 50 texts going, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, and you don't stop until you get an okay, you know, we're going to meet at this time or whatever. And if it's pouring rain, who cares? Like those are some of the most fun runs, right? You get out there, you get all muddy, it doesn't matter, it just doesn't matter. But it's great, right? And then once you do that a bunch, it just doesn't matter, and it phases you less and less, right? There's definitely days where, you know, if I wake up and it's not super warm in the house and it's cold outside and it's raining and dark, there's definitely times I'm like, no, not happening. I'm not going out there today. And that's fine, right? As long as you don't do it all the time. But yeah, it's important to have that tribe, and really, like, I love getting people outside. I love it. Like, I know how it makes me feel, so I want that for everyone else too.
Talk to me a little bit about exercise and body image. So sometimes I hear about just how, you know, in our culture, we really want to look good. We want to look a certain way. And sometimes people will come to exercising with just that in mind, like, oh, it'll transform my body and I'll be desirable. Like, do you work with that in clients? Like, what's your experience with that?
A little bit. Yeah. I'm a very real person. I'm not, I don't wear a ton of makeup or anything. And, so I have a hard time sometimes with the body image stuff. I totally get it. Like I get it. And, so I want people to just love where they're at right now, because like you said, it's a journey and we all start somewhere. And, you know, people, like I have one girlfriend, she's one of my closest friends, and she's just, I just want to look good. I just want to look good. And she's hilarious about it, right? I mean, she will be realistic. She's a very, very smart woman. But that's her main thing. I just want to look good. I'm just doing it to look good. And for me, it's about feeling good. And when you feel good, you look good. That's my opinion. And you can see that coming, like radiating out of somebody, right? And that's what exercise does, right? You, like, I see people working out, and as soon as they get started, they're just beaming, like all this good stuff comes out, right? Because their body's happy, they feel good. And so if you can tap into that, you know, how do you feel right now? Like, yeah, actually I feel really good. It just brings some color to their face and they just light up, right? So the people that, I don't know, I think that if they're thinking they're just going to come in and do one workout and look really good, they're not necessarily in tune with their body, right? And I think there's a little bit of work to do there. And it's not, you know, it's not impossible at all. That takes a little bit of time. It's just being really realistic about it, really, is, okay, why are you exercising, right? You want to be healthy, you want to look good. And that's a valid reason, is you want to look good. There's nothing wrong with that. But start with, you know, it's healthy, right? And it's good for me. And, you know, I'm going to go through this process. I'm going to keep doing it because of how it makes me feel. And in the process, you will look good. The body image stuff, like, yeah, it happens at every age, right? If people, they'll look in a magazine, and I think the magazines, I think a lot of companies are getting a lot better about who they're putting in their ads, because it seems like we've got a variety of shapes and sizes, which is so fantastic to see, because it's more real, right? And I think for the viewer, looking and seeing that, you just kind of go, okay, this feels better, right? This is real life. And it takes away a lot of the pressure that some of those people who have body image issues that are coming into the gym, and that's all they're consumed with in their head is, oh my God, I got to look good. I got to spend 3 hours on the treadmill because I got to look good. So when you're looking at these magazines and you're comparing, right? If we keep going the direction that we're going, I think where these people are having more realistic people on the covers of the magazines and in the magazines, I think that will help shift the mindset. But that's not going to happen overnight. Like that's going to take a long time, right?
And it could be that inside job of, like you're saying, working with someone like yourself who's really emphasizing the feeling good aspect and the happiness aspect, and just like starting to shift the scale on, you know what, that is becoming more important to me now than some sort of arbitrary body image.
Yeah,
because like you're saying, that when we feel good, we look good. And I feel like that's so true.
Yeah. Well, you can tell, you can see it, right? Like, I don't know, like as an example, you go outside, especially on a nice day. Well, even here, it's hilarious because like it's a beautiful sunny day today, which is very nice. I'm dying to get out there. But if we've had like weeks of really nasty rain, which happens here quite a bit, and then as soon as the sun doesn't even have to come out, it can just stop raining like 90%. It can still be drizzling a little bit. But if the rain's been going on for a long time, all of a sudden you get a ton of people outside because everyone's just like, oh my God, I got to get out there. And it might still be raining a tiny bit, but it's not pouring like it has been for the past like several weeks or whatever. But you just see like the whole, it's like everything's alive now. And it's so cool. Like it's so cool. Right. And now, you know, it's been nice for a few days now, but so it's just alive. It's so great to feel everything and everybody being so alive because it's a shift in energy, right? And it's the same thing that happens for people as soon as they start moving and you can see it and then you do look good.
Yeah. It's interesting. That's like this innate sort of, like people know they need to go outside. They want to, it feels good. And it's just when it's so drastic, like weeks of rain, and then the desire is so strong, but it's kind of like on a daily basis, we need to feed it and have that tribe and community support it, like you're saying.
Yeah. And it's interesting because so here we've got this seawall and there's a lot of seniors in West Vancouver. And if I ever go out and go for a really early morning run, it's the seniors that are out. Like, yes, they tend to wake up earlier, but it's so great. Like, and they don't care what the weather is. They are out there. So it's like they know something, right? That a lot of other people don't. Like they are out there every single day. That's just part of their routine, right? And they're walking. Walking is so great.
Well, I'm going to venture a guess and say that people are realizing at closer to that age, just like like you were saying, like we have one life. We got to enjoy it. We got to feel happy and just do what makes us feel happy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's too easy to forget that. Like, and that's when you just kind of do a little self check, right? Tune into how you're feeling and everything, and really be in the moment, right? There's so much talk about that now, mindfulness and living in the moment and everything, but it's so true. Like as soon as you know, if you can tap into that, which I have to tap into that like several times a day because I've got monkey brain. My thoughts are all over the place all the time. And then I just have to dial it down and go, where am I right now? Okay, what's going on right now, right? And then just kind of venture out from there. And anyway.
What kind of experiences, like how has exercising consistently affected your health and your immune system? Or is your health really good?
Yeah. I can feel myself fighting a bit of a bug right now because the kids have all had bugs, but I almost never get sick. I mean, like I'll feel something, but then I'm like, okay, all right, I just got to make more of an effort to get outside and get that fresh air instead of being cooped up breathing the same air that all the sickies are breathing. But yeah, no, I'm pretty healthy. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to work with you and have some of these Zoom classes with you online, we're going to link to all your stuff in the bottom of this interview. And
awesome.
So are you available to that? Are you available to lead some classes and take on some new clients right now?
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it.
Awesome.
Yep.
And what else can people find with you? So like, Just tell us a little more about that.
Well, I will say that whatever, if they have any excuses, they can fire me a list of excuses as to why they can't move their bodies on a regular basis, and challenge me that way. And I will just keep coming back at them. Right. I'm a believer. And so, that's something that I like bringing to the table is, somebody comes to me and they just don't believe, right? They don't think they can do it. And like when I owned the boxing gym, I'd have people all the time come in and, oh no, I can't do this. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do it? No, I can't do it. I'm like, well, yeah, you can. You just got to try, right? We'll just try it for a few minutes. I never had one person walk out going, yeah, no, I told you I couldn't do that. Never. And so that's boxing, right? Like I understand that boxing can be definitely intimidating. But any exercise can be intimidating for somebody, especially if they haven't really done it or haven't, maybe like most of the people that I work with are in their 40s. But there's always going to be something, right, that somebody is either scared of or really self-conscious about doing. And that's it for a lot of people, right? And once they get over that, it's fine. They're fine. Like 1 or 2 times in. So yeah, if somebody comes to me and they're not a huge believer in themselves, I believe enough in that person for like 1,000 people. So like I will get there with them. Right. And that's my goal. So I want them to feel the difference. I'm a very feely person. I'm sure I've already said that 3 times now, but I want the person that I'm working with, I want them to feel it too, because once you feel that, there's no turning back. Right? Your body will respond. Your body will remember. So even if you do it and then, a month later, you're like, oh, I got to get back to that. Your body's going to respond to that. Right. And you're going to feel the difference. And something will, click up in here and you're like, oh yeah. So why stop? Don't stop.
Yeah. You're bringing such a great energy with just seeing the person for their capacity. And yeah, like you're saying, believing in them so much. And so many of us have just not even believed in ourselves to start exercising, to think that we deserve to give ourselves that time and transform and cultivate happiness in that way. So that's so exciting. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. I love what I do. It's fun.
Yeah. I can tell that you love it. That's so great. Thank you so much, Kelly, for having this conversation today and for sharing your mission and your story and your energy.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was fun.